Euro Truck Simulator 2 has a huge library of mods. There are thousands of them available, and if you have ever spent time browsing the Steam Workshop, you probably noticed how easy it is to get lost in that list. Over the years, I have tried many different mods, and in this video I selected 11 of the most realistic mods you can find for Euro Truck Simulator 2. These are mods that genuinely improve immersion, make the trucks feel better to drive, and make the overall experience feel closer to real trucking. And the good thing is that all of these mods are from the Steam Workshop, which is very convenient. You do not have to download anything from random websites. You just subscribe to the mod and it installs automatically. I personally like using Workshop mods because everything stays updated and it saves a lot of time. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps the channel grow, and it allows me to keep making more ETS2 and ATS content like this. Alright, let's start. The first mod I would start with is a Mercedes Actros cabin overhaul. If you enjoy driving in cockpit view like I do, this mod is honestly a very good place to begin. It focuses on improving the interior of the Mercedes Actros MP4. The textures inside the cabin become sharper, the materials on the dashboard look better, and the lighting inside the truck feels much more refined. When I installed this mod for the first time, I immediately noticed how much better the cabin looked. It simply feels more premium and more detailed. Small details like the dashboard textures and reflections make a difference, because most of the time in ETS2 we are looking at the interior while driving. So if you like immersion, and you enjoy driving from the driver's seat, I think you will enjoy this mod a lot. Next we move to something that completely changes the atmosphere of the game, the realistic weather system. Weather can change how a driving simulator feels more than people expect. In the base game, rain sometimes feels a little simple. It rains, the road becomes wet, and that is mostly it. But with the realistic weather system mod, weather becomes much more dynamic. You can experience light rain, moderate rain, heavy rain, and even thunderstorms. The transitions between these weather conditions feel much more natural. One thing I really like about this mod is that weather starts to feel regional. Some areas experience more rain, while others may stay dry. So during a long trip, you might start your journey under clear skies and then slowly notice clouds forming before the rain begins. Driving during storms becomes much more immersive. Visibility drops, the atmosphere changes, and you naturally start paying more attention to your driving. I personally love driving during heavy rain because it adds a bit of tension to the trip. Now let's talk about one of the trucks in this setup, the DAF XF Special Edition. This is a really interesting truck mod because it is based on a special edition DAF XF that was showcased at trucking events. Visually, this truck looks fantastic. It usually features a very distinctive green paint scheme combined with black and gold accents, and it includes aerodynamic parts that make the truck look aggressive on the road. But what I really like about this truck is the interior. The cabin feels more premium than the standard DAF XF. You will see details like quilted leather seats, polished dashboard materials, and extra touches that make the truck feel more luxurious. Some versions of the mod even include little interior details like storage racks and other accessories that give the cabin personality. Under the hood, the truck is typically based on the powerful DAF XF 530 configuration, which means it has plenty of power for long-distance jobs and heavy cargo. When you are driving this truck on highways, it really feels like you are driving a high-end European truck. Next comes one of the most important mods in this entire setup, the ultra-realistic truck physics and cabin motion mod. This mod completely changes how trucks behave on the road. In the default game, trucks can sometimes feel a little too stable. Turning is easy and the suspension does not react strongly to bumps, but with this mod installed, the truck begins to feel heavier and more alive. The suspension reacts to the road surface, the truck body leans naturally in corners, and the cabin moves when you accelerate or brake. One thing I really love about this mod is the cabin movement during braking. When you slow down, the cabin leans slightly forward. When you accelerate, it moves back slightly. These small movements add a surprising amount of realism. You will also notice that trailer weight matters more. Heavy cargo pushes the truck forward when braking, and sharp corners require more attention. At first, the truck might feel harder to control, but once you get used to it, driving becomes much more engaging. Next, we move to one of my favorite truck mods, the Mercedes new Actros. This mod introduces a modern generation Mercedes Actros with a very detailed truck model. The exterior looks fantastic, but what I personally love about this truck is the interior. The digital dashboard screens and modern cabin layout make the truck feel very realistic when you are driving in cockpit view. When you are cruising down the highway at night, the interior lighting and dashboard displays create a really immersive driving environment. I personally like using this truck for long-distance jobs because the cabin feels modern and comfortable. Now, this next mod is one that many ETS2 players absolutely love, and that is the Belka Interior Accessories mod. This mod allows you to decorate the inside of your truck with a huge variety of interior items. You can add dashboard tables, hanging decorations, windshield stickers, and many other accessories. What I like about this mod is that it lets you personalize your truck. Real truck drivers often decorate their cabins, and this mod allows you to recreate that same feeling inside the game. Sometimes I like adding a dashboard table and a few hanging decorations just to make the cabin feel more alive. It gives the truck personality. Sound is another very important part of immersion, and that is where the Volvo FH6 improved sound mod comes in. This mod replaces the default engine sounds with much more realistic audio. The engine tone feels deeper, and the turbo sound becomes more noticeable when accelerating. When climbing hills or pulling heavy cargo, you can really hear the engine working harder. I love good engine sounds in driving simulators because they make every trip more enjoyable. Another small but noticeable improvement for interior realism is the Volvo FH6 steering wheel mod. This mod replaces the default steering wheel used in the Volvo FH6 with a more detailed version that looks closer to the real truck. The stitching and textures look sharper, and the steering wheel simply looks more realistic. Since the steering wheel is always in front of you when driving in cockpit view, upgrading it actually makes the interior feel much more polished. For players who enjoy driving the previous generation Volvo truck, there is also the Volvo FH5 steering wheel mod. This mod improves the steering wheel used in the Volvo FH5 and sometimes adds multiple variations with different colors and materials. Instead of using just one default wheel, you can choose a style that matches your truck interior. It is a small detail, but it helps make the cabin feel more customized. Another mod that I personally like using is the Rallye 3000 lights. These are auxiliary spotlights that you can install on the front of your truck or on roof bars. They improve visibility at night and also give your truck a much stronger appearance. Night driving becomes much easier, especially on darker roads. The final mod I want to talk about is the true Mirror FOV mod. This mod adjusts the mirror field of view so that mirrors behave more like real truck mirrors. Vehicles appear at more realistic distances, and checking your mirrors while driving feels much more natural. This is one of those small improvements that you might not notice immediately, but after using it for a while, you will probably not want to go back to the default mirrors. When you combine all of these mods together, Euro Truck Simulator 2 becomes a much richer experience. The weather feels alive, the trucks behave more realistically, the interiors look better, and the small details add a lot of immersion. I personally enjoy driving much more with this setup, and I think many of you will enjoy it as well. If you want to make Euro Truck Simulator 2 feel more realistic and more immersive, this is definitely a great place to start.